Okay, so I need you to take your pencil and put a dot in each corner. Please put a dot in each corner. Take your pencil and put a dot in each corner. All right, now you're going to connect these dots with an irregular line. So what I'm saying is that the line is not straight. It may have curves. It may have zigzags. It is irregular. It is not a normal line. So let your line create itself. Do not copy mine, make your own. Do not copy mine, make your own. All the way around, connect your dots with an irregular line. So it should not be straight. All right, so now we're going to divide the space. And what I call this, I call it bumper cars. So watch me, but do not do the same thing I do, okay? So for instance, I could start on this wall, this wall, this wall, or this wall. I'm going to start down here. I'm going to bumper car and hit this wall. I'm going to come up and hit this wall. I now have a wall here I can hit. I'm going to hit this wall. I'm going to come back, hit that. And now I've divided the space. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shapes. You don't want more than 7 shapes. Okay? While you are finishing that, who can tell me the definition of shape? Definition of shape. Yes. An outline of an area. Okay, so that's a good beginning. So if you were, let's say that you were going to draw it in your mind, what would have to happen to that outline to make a shape? Yes, exactly. They have to connect. Okay? So it is an outline of an area. It's two-dimensional. Okay? A shape is flat. It's two-dimensional. So your shape, and you can see it right underneath there. It says an outline of an area, but that area has to connect. So an outline of an area that connects. It's two-dimensional because we will get three-dimensional eventually. It's two-dimensional and it's flat normally. But when we shade, we're shading to create form. So today when you start shading, these flat shapes are going to be enhanced and be forms by the time you finish shading them. Okay? Can you guys see that writing okay? Is it hard to see? All right, so the other thing I need you to write underneath this is cool colors. We're going to work with cool colors today. So who can tell me what cool colors are? On your color wheel. Cool colors. Anybody? Guess. Yes, Seminole.
Blue.
Blue's one, okay?
Green.
Green's one.
Purple.
Yes, violet's one too. So if you look at your, say you have a 36 pencil container of colored pencils, you probably have 3 or 4 blues, 3 or 4 greens, and 3 or 4 violets. All right. So I'm going to start with a sky blue. I am going to put down the lightest value I can. So when you think about that value scale that we just did, this is the end. So the end one was 2 layers of that color crosshatch. So watch me for just a second. I'm just going to do 1. So I'm crosshatching with the sky blue. You might start with blue, you might start with green, you might start with yellow-green. Okay, please watch. Here comes the shadow. So the outer edges is where it's going to be darker, okay? And the problem is that everybody reverts back to what we said we didn't want to do. Everybody goes back and they get back on their point and they start shading like this. You have to stay on the side, and you don't want a line. So that means that you are shading over the area more than once, and you're shading towards the center. Now, with this shape, I can only do that on two sides, and then I'm going to have to turn it. So you'll notice that I'm using a darker blue, and now I'm going to overlap it with a lighter blue. And as I've said previously, I have a very light touch, so I'm going to have to do more layers. So I'm going to come back in, and again, I'm not doing a line. I am shading with the slant. And if you have to turn your book, turn your book. If you have to turn your body, turn your body. Whatever works for you, that's what needs to work. But there shouldn't be a line. So when you start to see 3-dimension, you see light, you see medium value, and you see dark value. So those values that we just learned, remember I said you wouldn't be shading in rectangles anymore. You're going to be shading in shapes and forms. So imagine if this were, I don't know, say it was a bubble falling from in the air. A bubble would have a shadow all the way around it, and it would have a highlight. So I'm going to turn this. I guess I'm going to turn it this way so you can see it. And now I'm going to be able to get the shadow on this side. So I'm going to show you what not to do. So this is what you don't want to do. You do not want to get on the point and shade it like this because you can't smooth it out well enough. We will outline these when we're done. So let me show you what happens. So here I'm going to try to level this out. So I caused myself some grief because I pressed with the point. So I'm working with circular motions, and I'm trying to get that line to soften. So you can see I'm starting to get it a little bit softer, but I'm having to press really hard because I pressed so hard in the beginning. So this is where what we were practicing is so important, that you understand that less is better. So you've got to work light to dark. Okay, so I'm going to bring up the darkness on this side because I pressed so hard on the other side and try to level it out. So again, your shadows are towards the outer edges. If for some reason you create a line, then you just got to pull the shadow in further. Okay?